Good morning. It's Tuesday morning, October 18th, 2011. And of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. And by the way, it's 7:30 a.m. Well, throughout much of the northern mid-Atlantic, we have cloudy yet tranquil weather conditions. So what? It's cloudy. At least it's not raining. At least not yet. We have temperatures in the upper 40s to lower 50s for most locations. We are having temperatures falling back into the mid to upper 40s in some locations. This is an error, by the way. This is not 42 degrees. But the reason why we're falling back to the mid to upper 40s is because we're dealing with what's called virga. That's where rain falls from the mid levels of the atmosphere but does not reach the surface because of dry air in place, which allows the temperatures to cool. Think of it like basically you get out of a hot shower, you open up the door, the cool air rushes in, and you get condensation. Well, basically the same thing. Evaporational cooling is on the way, is developing right now. That's why you get that chill when you step out of the shower into a cool room, and why temperatures are falling here. So let's take a look at the satellite picture. Now, we have a very interesting and complicated storm developing. Here's our disturbance that's moving through the northern mid-Atlantic right now that is producing showers that aren't reaching the ground, and as a result, temperatures are cooling and we are remaining rather cloudy. This disturbance will continue to move to the east and really not produce much in the way of precipitation. I can't rule out an isolated shower through the day today, but really nothing significant in nature. Overall, just a cloudy, cool day with temperatures in the 50s and lower 60s. Not too bad for this time of year, to be honest with you. Now here's our storm. We have a tropical disturbance that will not develop into a named tropical system. I'm pretty confident of that because the atmospheric conditions for a tropical low pressure development is just really unfavorable right now. Here's the center of the low level circulation. There's the convection. You want the convection to be around this low level circulation, not well to the east. So that right there alone is a major factor against tropical development. But look at this moisture stream here. Okay, and then we have this strong disturbance diving down into the Mississippi River Valley. What's going to happen is that this disturbance and these surface reflections are going to draw in all this moisture in this low pressure system, and they're going to redevelop an area of low pressure right around the Florida Panhandle that's going to shoot up the coast and then retrograde back to the northwest through Pennsylvania and then up towards Ontario, Canada, over the next 24 to 30 hours. And that is going to produce a great deal of rain for the northern mid-Atlantic, especially along the immediate coast. Let's take a look at the radar. And you can see with the radar, our disturbance here, none of these showers are reaching the ground, but they are keeping weather conditions rather cool, keeping us in the mid to upper 40s in some locations, lower 50s in other locations where the showers aren't moving through. You see this yellow spot right there? That might actually reach the ground as an isolated shower. But other than that, really we're just talking about cloudy weather conditions. This right here is the heavy rain that's starting to develop. And this is starting to form in the Mississippi River Valley. And if we move a little bit to the west here, let me move this here. There we go. You can see our strong disturbance diving south towards the southern Mississippi River Valley, and you can see the showers being pulled to the north with that tropical disturbance. The heaviest rainfall is over southern Florida, and that rainfall is going to be drawn into this trough, and it's going to combine into a nice little rainstorm for much of the East Coast over the next 24 to 48 hours. Using the NAM model guidance, which is a pretty good representation and pretty much follows the European model guidance up through about 66 hours. So I'm using it for this morning, but it's not a model I typically like to use for a medium range forecast. But I think that this model guidance is doing pretty well right now. So we're going to use it this morning. And for today, again, generally tranquil weather conditions. I'm sure it'll be cloudy, and there will be an isolated shower threat. But for most locations, it will remain dry and just fall-like. By tonight, you can see our low pressure systems are starting to interact and combine over the eastern Gulf of Mexico. And you can see that interaction in the upper levels with this strong disturbance and this disturbance here. what's left of the tropical disturbance. As we move into the overnight hours, you can see they all become entrained into one large trough. This portion of the trough becomes cut off, becomes an upper level low, and that's going to be very important for the track of this low pressure system. So moving forward into tomorrow morning, we have a lot of lifting developing over the northern Atlantic. We have what's called divergence and diffluence. That basically means air is rising and able to exit. Therefore, you end up with an environment favorable for showers to develop. So tomorrow morning, I expect showers to develop over the northern Atlantic. Not widespread yet, but 8 a.m. we'll see these waves of these areas of showers developing. Some locations will remain dry, while other locations will have heavy downpours, which will likely slow down travel. Now, the rain becomes widespread by tomorrow afternoon. It starts to move into the Philadelphia, New York City metropolitan area. Our low pressure system is really starting to get itself organized with 996 millibar low along the South Carolina coast. Another low pressure starting to develop in the Ohio River Valley and Tennessee River Valley. And the reason why is because our upper level low is formed. This upper level low, as it tracks slowly to the northeast, is going to force a low pressure track from the Carolinas back towards Pennsylvania and then up towards Ontario, because this upper level low is a negatively tilted trough, which produces southeasterly winds and a storm track to the northwest. So what we have here is strong pressure gradient here tomorrow afternoon. That's going to lead to winds anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour with higher gusts. Not going to be pretty tomorrow afternoon, and the evening rush hour is just going to be ugly, period. We have plenty of moisture in the mid-levels, plenty of moisture in the lower levels with a strong southeasterly wind. We have a warm front setting up right along the New Jersey coast, back towards Long Island. And that is what's going to produce a very heavy rainfall along the immediate coast, because you have enhanced low and mid-level lifting along the immediate coast. Still be heavy rain over the interior, but just not as intensive lifting parameters because of this warm front. So as you can see, tomorrow evening, periods of heavy rain for the Philadelphia, New York City metropolitan area. It is not going to be a pretty rush hour for tomorrow evening. That rainfall will continue on through the overnight hours of Wednesday into early Thursday morning. Notice again the strong pressure gradient in place. Winds will remain anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour, veering to the west as this low pressure system lifts north and the occluded front moves through. So clearly we're going to be dealing with very windy conditions heading into Thursday morning. And Thursday afternoon you can see dry air, what's called a dry slot, sitting right over the northern Mid-Atlantic. So we'll be drying out. I can't rule out an isolated shower, but we'll definitely be drying out. But it also will be very windy. Looking at the rest of the forecast on the European model guidance, one of the best model guidance for the medium range, you can see that this low pressure system departs, high pressure takes control, and high pressure will be in place all the way through this weekend, providing excellent weather conditions for the northern Mid-Atlantic. Temperatures near normal in the 60s for highs and mid 40s to lower 50s for lows. Most importantly, we will be dry. So if you have plans this weekend, keep them. Conditions are going to be fine. However, this rainstorm for basically tomorrow morning on through early Thursday morning is going to just be ugly. Again, it'll start out as scattered showers, heavy at times. These waves of rain become widespread by tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow evening's rush hour is just going to be completely ugly with periods of heavy rain, steady heavy rain with strong winds anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour, increasing possibly to 15 to 30 miles per hour along the immediate coast, with strong wind gusts as well. And then conditions start to improve early Thursday morning on through the day on Thursday. That is your morning forecast discussion. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino, and as always, you can follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter and Facebook. Have an excellent morning and stay safe out there.